Okay, here we go. I believe we're up to Parak Aleph. I think we finished the Hakdama and then the Psicha, and we learned the different Yisaides, the different ideas of how we could bring this light of Shabbos a little bit deeper into our life. Just to review the three Yisaides that he spoke about. He spoke the Darkecha, spoke about we have to look for the Shechina, number one, to desire the light of Shabbos, prepare for Shabbos, both practically learning the Torah of Shabbos. And we spoke, what does it mean to prepare for Shabbos? Practically food for Shabbos, learning about Shabbos, and to desire the light of Shabbos, and to go and to deal with Shabbos the whole week. And that's really what we try to do here on a Tuesday night, not waiting for a Thursday night, not waiting for a Friday, but let's bring Shabbos to Tuesday. And we're going to see today how really it starts even earlier. And the third Yesod that we spoke about was Lehiskadish, that in order to merit this light of Shabbos, we have to sanctify ourselves. We spoke about the fact that there's the element of Surah Meirah, of going away of a little bit less gashmias, a little bit less physicalities, a little bit less negativity, and injecting our life with a bit more Torah, a bit more tefillah. And these are ways to connecting more to the Shekhinah. And that was all in the opening of how we could come to this realization, come to this place that when we enter into Shabbos, we enter into this world in which God is a bit more revealed, we could connect to it. It's a palpable reality. And with these steps, and hopefully in some way in our own lives, we started to feel Epis a little bit, one little dot, a little bit more of that spark, a little bit more of that light. And now we begin the first parak, which is, and I think we ended last time just by reading the title, which is Mahos Avodas Maisai Shabbos, and we pointed out how many of us probably opened this book and thought we maybe started from the wrong side. Well, you're starting with Motzei Shabbos. This is bizarre. But says the Yam Darkecha, Motzei Shabbos, Utchilas Avodah. Could be reread a little bit, so the beginning we'll read a drop faster. Kasher Rabbeinu Chaim Vital, Maschlatz Devarav El Shabbos Kodesh, the Heiliger of Chaim Vital. You can imagine he puts up a sign. Rav Chaim Vital is talking about Shabbos, and he gets up, and what does he talk about? Motzai Shabbos. It's like a shtickle, like Rebbe. What are you doing? Besifrei Shar Kavanais. That's mamish what he does. Hu maschel b'naisei mahi ha'avoida shal Motzai Shabbos. Hu madgish v'omer Rav Chaim Vital makes an emphasis and he says, Shatam shu maschel grafka b'inyanim Motzai Shabbos. Why is he starting with Motzei Shabbos? Ki biyad b'Motzei Shabbos, the moment Shabbos ends, the moment that we go and we make Havdalah, kivar matchilim sheishis me'achol, as the Neshama Yisera leaves, as the work week sets in, ukvar matchila avoida ha'achana l'Shabbos hava. Right then and there, the picture in our mind, Rav Chaim Kanievsky would go, he'd make Havdalah, they take off one tablecloth from Shabbos, and they pull on another tablecloth and put down two candles, and he'd have Malava Malka right there. That's literally the transformation. Shabbos leaves, and boom, we start the preparation for the next week. Ubezeu Poteach Lanu Rav Chaim Vital opens for us Histaklut Chadasha, a new outlook, a totally revolutionary way of looking at the week. Ala Avoida of our Gasha, where does the week start? But Motzei Shabbos. V'oimer Lanu, and he teaches us. Al tislak lo Motzei Shabbos or kisiyim v'shirayim shel Shabbos. Don't look at Motzei Shabbos as the leftovers, as the remnants, as that which is, the little bits left over of Shabbos. V'al tistaklu, and don't look at Motzei Shabbos rakipios. It's like, a little bit of an afterthought. Al tistaklu zar Shabbos. Ella tistaklu Motzei Shabbos. No, we have to view Motzei Shabbos kitchilas avoida chadasha shel hashvua chadash, the beginning of the new work week, of the new avoida. V'tavinu, we have to understand shekvar achshav, right now in Motzei Shabbos, matchila hachana l'Shabbos haba, begins the preparation for the next week. A completely revolutionary mindset of what Motzei Shabbos is. Now he explains to us, Mohos avodas Motzei Shabbos. What is Motzei Shabbos? Hachnosas are a Shabbos Lekinyan b'maisachol. And I think what we're about to see is something incredible. Because we're learning how Shabbos is amazing and Shabbos is real. And Shabbos is a bit more godly and a bit less physicality. And Shabbos is this time that the cover comes out and we could see Hashem a little bit clearer. And it's not all about the work and it's not about how we make it work. And it's not about our ishtadlus. It's about the fact that Hashem is that which makes everything work. That without Hashem, nothing works. And now we're going to learn how that avodah of Shabbos does what? It could flow into our work week. And can we just imagine for a moment, as we've spoken about how tzaddikim live the whole week, it's a week of Shabbos. So just imagine whatever little bit we got out of Shabbos so far, we could take that little bit and we could schlep it through the week. Why do we have to have a week where we feel so heavy and so worn down and so dark and so, oh, how can we get through this? Oh, I just can't wait for the next Shabbos. It's a beautiful thought to wait for the next Shabbos. But why does it have to be that way? Why can't the work week be an aftermath, be a little bit that Shabbos is injected into the work week? V'hinei, Mahos avodas b'Motzei Shabbos. What do we do at Motzei Shabbos? What happens at that Shas Havdalah? Lahachnes as our Shabbos shekibanu. Take whatever we got and we inject it and we introduce it l'toichi moisachol into the work week. Keep it moitzai Shabbos or miskaseh. If we, the way we've been viewing what Shabbos, the lights go on. What Shabbos, that is pulled back the covers. What Shabbos, the curtains open up and we see a bit of God. So comes moitzai Shabbos and those curtains go back on and the light turns off. Yishvaya of the nefesh and we have that downer feeling. Avol tzarich lav, what you know we have to do? Shloi never as adveka shekibalnu b'Shabbos. That feeling that we got, that closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe it's that one moment of Shabbos that we felt a little bit more spiritual, that little bit, that connection. We got to pull into the week. The lights go out, but we got to work to pull in the light of Shabbos. And don't let the lights go out. Don't look at Motzei Shabbos as the worst time of the week. Oh, I went from such a good Shabbos, and oh, I got to open up the emails. Oh, what's going to be? How am I going to get through another week? I feel so heavy. I feel so dark. The exact opposite. You have to understand. You might not see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You might not see God. It doesn't change anything. Hashem is right there in front of us. The exact same thing. And I am connected, and I am attached and one with Hashem. To go a little bit further in painting a picture, that moment of Ne'ilah, that moment we always talk about. That moment Yom Kippur's ending, that Shema Yisrael, that Hashem Elokim, that moment that you close your eyes, and that moment that maybe for the first time in one's life, they feel a little bit, that little bit. That little bit is the same level of clarity we could live our whole life with. Because nothing changed. It's the same God in front of us. Yeah, Nilas Hashar, the gates closed, but God's right in front of us. Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. We believe that. Shvisi Hashem the Negdi David, God is right here. Yes, He is right here. I say, Baruch Atah, you, my friend, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Adonai, my personal Adonai, He's right here. So what should change? Because it's Motzei Shabbos? Exactly. But because all of a sudden that light leaves, and because we make Havdalah, and because of that, we should feel it. So the first step is to realize, as we're pointing out the chiddush of the sefer that we've already learned, it starts in the mind. It doesn't start in the leave. It doesn't start in the feeling. It's a mistake. It starts in the intellect. We have to understand intellectually and realize that it's true I don't feel Hashem. And it's true I don't see Hashem. And it's true it feels dark and cold. And it's true it feels achi. And it's true that I don't want to go into another week and I want to open the computer and I can't imagine it. But what's the reality? What's true? If we had to go on that lie detector right now, that moment Shabbos ends is the exact same thing as that moment of Kabbalah Shabbos when Gishmak, boy, Kala, Gishmak, Mizmer Shir, that same level. And I'm just painting a little bit of a deeper picture in reality of realities. It's the same exact Ne'ilah, that moment of wow. That's the reality. Of course, we have to work to get there. Zewa inyan apnimi shel Motzei Shabbos. That's where we're trying to get to on Motzei Shabbos. Lahachnis es ha'or nifla shel Shabbos Kodesh. To introduce and enter in that beautiful and wondrous light of Shabbos al Yemei Achol to the days of the week. Shebehem nireh sha'or ne'elam. During the week, it looks like the lights are out. We're pashut. We look like we're blind. We can't turn anywhere. But the avoid of Motzei Shabbos is ulahavin and to understand, ulahargish and to feel. Sheshem yisparach itanu bechol zmanu matzov. Hashem is always with us. Uli tavik going to cleave to him. Ulayachi ois ema emes, and the avoid is to live with the reality. Afilu kasher nira, it appears. Kilu sharnis daling. Hashem, where are you? Tuesday, you go into the office, Shabbos is still another 3 days. I can't do it anymore. Hashem, it looks, Arnistalik, it's so dark. The darkness, the difficulty, doesn't distance. Elamata rasam, what is the purpose? Let's think about this for a moment. As the lights turn off, as we make Havdalah, the worst and darkest moment is right there. It's even worse than a Tuesday for real for a moment. Because Shabbos was so gishmak, and we can understand that as we're going to learn more about Shabbos, and our Shabbos are going to get more elevated, our Marzai Shabbos are going to feel that much lower, because I was so high, it was so amazing. And now, boom, it collapses. What's the purpose of that collapse? Matarasam, the purpose is loiranu, to awaken us. Lahachnis is Arshal Shabbos. Pause at Havdalah. Pause by Motzei Shabbos and take a moment and bottle that light of God of Shabbos. L'makom yoser oimek b'lev. Go a little bit deeper in your heart. V'liknois ez ha'amunah, we acquire the faith in God. B'yeser eimuk oimek, with greater depth. Ba'oifen, in a way, she taught ear loy. Now it's going to even light up for us. When? Even when it's all dark. You're going to feel the truth. We'll go one more. If you only know this one Yisaid, the Yavin, and you understand, and as we're about to see these words, you'll realize that we've already learned this, and now we're just applying it again. If all you were to know, and all you were to understand, is Hashem Yisbarach Lo Ozev Oti. Hashem does not leave me. V'oiroi, and his light, Nishariti, is left with me. Be'oise oifen b'diyok, that exact same level. That level of Einoid Milvadoi, that level of Ne'ilah, that level of Friday night, the level of Leil Seder, that exact same level, Hu Yocholit Gaber Lakoish, if you know that. Yeda, knowledge starts with the brain. We remember it. We go to Motzei Shabbos and we recall and we remember that what? It's the same thing. It feels different. The feelings aren't real. Then Hu Yochol is Gaber Lakoish, then you could get stronger. V'adirabah, you know what happens at that moment of darkness? You could elevate yourself dafka b'motzei Shabbos. Kiyavin, because you understand. The darkness is not pushing us away. The purpose is the opposite. Is Arshal Shabbos. It's awakening us to introduce the light of Shabbos into greater depth. And to acquire more amunah. But even she tired like and then it will allow us to go even into the darkness. And then it will allow us what? To go into the week. Ki av shetzuras avodah mishtana case. You're right. The tzura changes. It's true. On Motzei Shabbos with Havdalah, our avodah, the way that we serve God, changes at that moment. It's true. It's a different avodah. I'm going to the office tomorrow. Going to the office is a totally different way of serving Hashem. And yes, going to the office is serving Hashem. Yes, going to the office is a way of serving Hashem different than walking home on a Friday night and making Kiddush. That's for sure true. But mikol makayim, whatever your avodah is, and perhaps this is the most important line we have to drill into our brains for every single moment of our life. The avodah never changes. Hashem Yisbarach be'atzmai nishar yitoch. God is holding my hand. Ve'adarabba, mamish, the exact opposite. Achshav now, you could get even higher. During the week, you could get even greater. During the business, when you feel so far and lost, no, the exact opposite. Now you could realize that Hashem is mamish there with me. The liskois, and you can merit lachiyos and Hashem Yisbarach, to live with God. Rak b'Shabbos, not only during the moments of spirituality. Sheba ilam agashmi yotam b'tilim. That's easy. On Shabbos, anyone can be spiritual. It's so simple. I don't have to worry about the bills. I don't have to worry about anything. It's easy to sit and daven and learn. Well, it's not, but it's easier to live more spiritual on Shabbos. But elaliskos, you can merit lachiyos es emes, to live a life of truth, gam b'toich yemei achol, even during the work week. V'liskos, and to merit lachiyos b'dveikos im Hashem Yisbarach, to live with a connection to God, gam b'toich hastara, even amidst the darkness. And you know what? Not only can you merit to live it, ulahatzliach, and you'll be successful. Listen to this. Lahargish oito, you're gonna feel Hashem. V'liris is yada, you're gonna feel Hashem's hand, mamish, holding your hand. B'chol inyanim, b'gam b'dvarim shenirim keteva. The things that seem like teva. It seems the doctor is one who makes the call, and it seems it's the shadchan, and it seems it's the boss, and it seems it's the Rebbe, and it seems it's all the different issues in our life. It seems that it's Teva. But you know you can merit at this moment of darkness of Motzei Shabbos. If you go and you say, no, I'm not allowing the darkness, but Adrab, I'm going to take the light of Shabbos, I'm going to pull it in, and I'm going to inject it deeper into my heart. I'm going to create more emuni. You know you can merit. And to live. Shakol Zerak Or Hashem Yisparach. Everything is just the light of God. Even when it looks like, what do you mean God? The boss decides if I get a raise. What do you mean God? The doctor decides if he knows the medicine. The shadchan finds me a shidduch. What do you mean God? If I have a good teacher for my child, that's going to determine the success. What do you mean God? If I work out, that's going to determine my health. It seems our eyes look that way. Oh, I do it. What do you mean? If I work harder, I'll have more money. If I put in another few hours, if I figure out a way. Unfortunately, sometimes it turns in. If I cut a corner, if I have this, all the eyes. Kibemes, koloilam, v'chol hanivraim, the whole world and all the creations. Himrak, kalim, v'shlichim, shel Hashem Yisbarach. Everything is a messenger of God. And we'll conclude with that wonderful footnote that we saw back in the other chapter, how we're supposed to get there. Because these are incredible, lofty and holy and high levels. And we might hear it and feel it and wonder, wow, this sounds great, and I wish Motzei Shabbos could go from the worst time to the greatest time. I wish I could get there. And he's going to talk more how to get there. But what we'll say right now to conclude, we'll remind ourselves what he's already taught us. He taught us, what are we trying to get to? I'm trying to get to that even amidst the worst darkness, I could feel Hashem holding my hand. Even, we'll use the mashal, even amidst the Nazi warfare, they're pointing a gun. Who's the only one in the crowd not screaming? Everyone is screaming and crying. The baby. The baby nursing from its mommy is not screaming. Why? Because it's nursing from mommy. It's sitting there. To the baby, it doesn't make a difference. What? So there's gunshots. So what? Who cares what's going on? That's all that is. But how do we get to that level? How do we get to the place that we can feel just like the baby in mommy's hands, that I can feel like Kadosh Baruch Hu's holding my hands? It's so far. He taught us the answer was we have to start to talk to Hashem. Talk to Hashem. Make Hashem a reality. When? Always. How? Whichever way you want, during davening, not during davening, during learning, during chesed, during work, always it's time to make God a reality. And what we're doing right now is we're realizing that to prepare for Shabbos, we thought we were mechadish. We prepare for Shabbos on a Tuesday. No, really, you got to start back. Motzei Shabbos, when the week begins, and we know, and as we open the computer, we turn on the phone, and we dread the levels, and we wonder, wait, is it going to be favorable emails? Am I going to be happy? Is it going to be a good week? Is it going to be a challenging week? And those are all real, very real. But let's understand that that is also an Avodah Hashem. That's also part of our Ruchnias. Everything is. And the reality is no difference at that moment of Motzei Shabbos. At that moment of darkness is the exact same thing. This wonderful idea that he's teaching us. This is the only Rak Yeda, the only thing you need to know. Hashem lo oziv osi. Hashem does not leave me. Hashem is always there, whether I feel him holding my hand or not, whether I could see him running the world or not. Of course, there's sometimes we could, sometimes we can't. The avodah is to figure out ways to live life, to talk to Hashem, make him part of life. Hashem, where are you? And yes, as we always point out, you could scream at God. Yes, Hashem, where are you? Open up a Tehillim, and look how David HaMelech screams, God, I want to see you. I'm trying so hard. Why are you leaving me? I feel like you're not with me. I know you're here, Hashem. I know you're here, but I don't feel it. I know I'm supposed to be like that baby nursing in mommy's hands. I don't feel it, Hashem. Please, please, please. Hopefully, v'siyata d'shmaya, as it starts from the intellect, as we realize the truth, as we start to realize the incredible tools that we have, how Chazal have scripted it all for us. We have this entity called Shabbos. Hashem is more revealed, and now we're learning how we could go all the way back and start from Mosai Shabbos. Mirz Hashem. The more we talk about it together, the more we talk about it privately, the more we spend time focusing on it. As we always say, we'll reap the greatest dividends. Because can you imagine a life? Can you imagine a life where we feel Hashem, lo yoizev oti at every single moment? And Mirz Hashem, we should be zeich lekach.